Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant, breaker of the seven seals. Let's bring in our audio audience. This is the excuse me. This is the Black Alert segment of the Fire Zone. Brothers and sisters of the original family, the true seed of Abraham. Brothers and sisters, it's springtime. It's time to go home. You see these people talking? War, war, war. Nuclear war! Like it's a video game or something. Why are they talking that? There's so much going on, brothers and sisters, that you just don't know. So understand, because you're still frozen, you've been frozen for 400 some years. We're trying to thaw you out. See? But these people are trying to keep you frozen. Trying to keep you frozen, keep your mind frozen. That's the job of the demons. So we're going to try to expose a few things. See, they don't call it Book of Revelations for nothing. It's a book that's open at the end that's going to reveal everything. Because everything was hidden. See, we were in a winter season, 6,000 years of winter. No sun, because sun is the enemy of the winter. And now the spring sun's rising, and the power of the winter is fading. But it doesn't want to fade. It wants to hold on. It wants to hold on. And those of you who have been frozen during the winter, now you've been thawed out. And they resent that. The winter people resent that because it means their destruction. Because once the spring thaw is over, they no longer exist. But you'll be thawed out and striving and thriving. They know that. They're intelligent. And if they can't survive the spring thaw, they want to take as many of you down, freeze as many of you as possible, so you don't survive it either. And many of you have fallen for it. See, let's be friends. Now they want to be friends with you. See, now they want to embrace you. See, because if you're friends with them, you can't throw out. If you're embracing them, you can't throw out. You cannot throw out if you're embracing the ice and the snow and the sleet and the blizzard. You cannot throw it out. You cannot throw out in the refrigerator. You have to get out of it. And America is one big refrigerator. Ice box. And we're trying to get you out. Come out of her, my people. The sun is risen. Is rising. And it's thawing you out. But many of you, like I said, are embracing the winter people. I look around at the gym and different places, everywhere I look. See, these are not just demons, a lot of them are Negro butts. got a devil on their arm, married to the devil, living with the devil, friendly with the devil. They come in their pairs, like salt and pepper. I'm saying, do they understand? Because they cannot accept this truth. They cannot accept this light. They cannot accept this warmth with that on their arm. Because they can't talk about this. Because this here will destroy them. This will destroy the ice people, the devils on their arm. They won't talk about this, so it prevents them from receiving the sunlight. Because as long as they're with them, they cannot receive this light. So they cannot thaw out. And that's their purpose. See, we love you now. Want to be with you. See? And you just don't understand it. You see it more and more on TV. They're promoting it. Interracial marriage. Interracial couples. See? That's the winter trying to keep you frozen. That's what that's all about. Trying to keep you from receiving the light of the truth. The light that's going to save you, that's going to thaw you out and put you on top of civilization. You'll survive the winter to the spring thaw and move on into the future. They cannot move into the future. The winter cannot move into the future. The future is spring, and they cannot move into the spring and survive. The winter cannot move into the spring and survive. So they're trying to hold you back. Along with the demons. The demons can go a little further into the spring. They can go further into the spring thaw than the devils can, because they got a little covering on. They got a little, they got a little insulation. So they got a little spring in them. See? They can go a little ways, they can't go very far. But they can survive the spring thaw a little better than devils can. Their purpose is to keep you frozen. Keep you from thawing out. How can you see this message? What are you going to do? You talk to that devil, hey man, Armageddon. Where did you see Abraham? See? You devils. How you going to do that? You can't. You can't receive this message. See? So in other words, you can't receive the heat of the spring. The spring summer. Spring sun, you can't receive it. See? They're there to keep you frozen. See? Because if you start talking this, you have to get rid of them. And then you got those who just don't understand. They're throwing out, right? But they're holding on to people, demons, because it's told you, if they're not with you, they're against you. If they're not with you, they're against you. So they want to be friendly. Oh man, I grew up with these people. They ain't your friends. Okay, when you talk to them, what are you talking about? Are you talking about this? Or are you talking about what they want to talk about? Because if you're talking about this, they're not going to have, you have a conversation with them. So you got to talk what they want to talk about. See? And that means you're talking winter. See? Winter breeze. See? Winter vibrations. See? That's keeping you cold. Because they're not warming you up. Not with their conversation. They're keeping you cool, cooling you down. You see? And you can't talk to them about this. So you have to cool yourself down and talk to them. How you think you're going to make it out of here like that? You can't give up. You better understand, brothers and sisters. The angel tells you, you gotta let go of this world altogether. You know, I had a nephew. Oh man, I used to, real close nephew. I mean, was a kid. I used to take him around and stuff, right? He had a little rough time, with his parents, but I was there for him. So he grew up. We was close. No, I hadn't been around. I seen him in years. I mean, we talked on the phone and stuff. He came to visit not too long ago. Walked in here with a devil on his arm and a big cross around his neck. So last time we talked, what are we going to talk about? No, I explained to him exactly where I'm at. It didn't move him. So there's nothing to talk about anymore. He was my favorite. See? Because what am I talking about? If I'm for real, what am I talking about? I'm only talking about this. He don't want to hear it. That means I got to talk about what he wants to talk about. That means that's going to cool me off. So I got to cool down, right, to his temperature, right, in order to communicate. So how in the hell is that going to throw you out? You better start thinking, brothers and sisters. See, because that's all you got to work. Get your hell out of here through your mind, your thought. That's what angels about. Angels are not appealing to your heart; it's appealing to your mind. If you don't get it together, you're going to get to the finish line, and you're not going to cross it. See, you're going to reject it at the door of the plane. Because they're not with you, they're against you. If you don't understand that principle, then you don't understand angel message at all. You tell them they're interested, bam. No more communication. Nothing else communication. And you're not doing them any favors. Because maybe they'll start thinking and they'll come along with you. Because if you keep moving to the future, they got to come along with you to keep moving. But if you keep hanging with them, that means you slowing down in the past. Because they're trying to hold you back in the past. So when you tell them, you keep moving. Now either they move with you or they left behind. The only other option is you stay behind with them. Because that's what's happening. That's the mathematics of it. If you're still associated with them, that means you're hanging back. That means you ain't moving fast enough in time. That means because you gotta move fast. The God is moving fast. The high priest is moving fast because he's the example in your midst, right, to show you how to keep up. And a lot of people lost along the way. We have a recent example. They lost along the way. They can't keep up. See, somebody got them. See? They stopped, they hesitated. Next thing they know, it was lost in the past. Start cooling down again. See, because once you get this message, you have 5 fundamental principles of Islam. Right? You got the angel, right? You got all the knowledge you've been given and other things you've been given. Those are things that help you keep pace. Those things given to you so you know how to keep. Because if you ain't doing those things, you're not going to keep up. You're not going to keep up. And you got to move fast. Because this place is heating up. This place is about to burn up. And you got to be clear. You got to be totally clear of it. Or you're going to be singed. It's not just outright burnt. The place is heating up. Not a game, brothers and sisters. 50,000 years in preparation. Now, over here I'm talking about devils, demons, dragon, Dajjal, devil. Why start with D? That's interesting, isn't it? But who are they? See, ask Farrakhan who they are. Ask Farrakhan, he's the one, right? Ask him who they are. Ask him, well, the dragon, or he don't know. The dragon, oh man, he started out as he started out as a serpent. Then in the book he turned as a dragon. That's his answer. Or they tell you that dragon's the media. Well, if the media, what about the 7 heads and 10 horns? Who are they? That's the dragon, right? That's how you define them. So who are they? What about the 7 crowns upon his head? The 7 heads. What does that mean? Tell us, please. We're waiting. See, because you're supposed to be the one. See, because it tells you clearly, all you scriptural people out there, right? It tells you clearly the one you should be listening to is the one that breaks the 7 seals. So these are all, except the Dajjal, all these are scriptures found in the revelations called the AL-INJIL in Arabic. So who are they? Ask your preacher, who are the demons? Or you can't see it, well, then what the hell are they talking to you about? Why are they telling you about these things if you can't see them, you can't touch them, and there's anything you can do with it? Why is the scriptures that stupid to tell you stuff about stuff that you can't do anything with? It's like giving you a book and tell you, oh man, here's the story, everything about the people on Venus. What the hell is that going to do for you? You know everything about people on Venus and how, okay, man, I know everybody on Venus, man, I know by name, man. There's Gisamo and Jacobo and Mimino and what the hell does that mean? See? Or they tell you, oh man, here's stuff what happened in the past. Well, how is the scripture going to help you about telling things happen in the past? It's supposed to be scripture. That's why I call it prophecy. That's why I call it prophecy. You know, see, not here, see, prophecy, not prophet here, prophecy. It's foresight. That's everybody understand. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be foresight. But they telling you it's hindsight. Why? Because they know foresight is your future. Hindsight is their future. Because that's the only future they have is hindsight. Because after 6,000 years, they have no future. So that's a deception. All this is future. They tell, well, it's 50%. No, it's all prophecy. That's why they write it in advance. What good is, it's foresight. Then you got people say, well, history repeats itself, so you can take example, those things happened in the past, but history repeats itself. So they say that so they can say, well, it didn't repeat itself 100%, so they can take out the parts they don't like. No, it's prophecy. That's why the angel said it was locked up. Why would you like to lock up history? Lock it up until a certain time to reveal it at the end of the winter. See? It's for your benefit, because if they hadn't locked it up, the winter people, they wouldn't just, they would just wipe you out. They use you. See, they use your warmth, and they took your warmth from you and used it for their purposes. Your energy. They turned you into Negro butts to serve them. Negro butts. That's what they did. Took 64 years to do it. From 1555 to 1619, took 64 years to transform you from Kunta Kinte to Toby. 64 years to turn you to Negro butts. And now to program you, right? It took 64 years to program you, and now you're self-programming. You program your children. Why you say you're not programming your children? Well, how do you get that name? How do you get that name, Mr. Robinson? How do you get that name, Mrs. Jackson? How do you get that name, Mr. Blueberry? How did you get that name if you wasn't programmed? You didn't come here like that. That shows you're programmed. Because you still got Master's name. And you're still programmed. Because if you wasn't, you wouldn't have to be wearing that name. You wouldn't be wearing it. That shows right there you're still programmed. You're still programmed. That's evidence that you're still programmed. Because there's no way in the world you would wear. If a woman married a man, and this man just beat the hell out of her and raped her and everything else. And she married him, so now his name is Mr. Jones. So now her name is Sheila Jones, right? She'll change because she accept his name. And she finally get away from him in divorce. You think she's going to keep that name? Do you really think she would keep that name? And tell everybody she was married to this clown? And be friendly with him? See, you piss and shit on your ancestors. That's what you're doing. You're pissing and shitting on your ancestors. Because your ancestors went through all kinds of hell, and their only hope was that in the future you would take revenge on these people that did that to them. That was their only hope. That you would take a revenge on these people and get the hell out of here and get back home. Elijah Muhammad told you that. That was the only hope. That you would take revenge on these people and get the hell out of here and get back home. They wanted to get back home. They wanted to get back home, brothers and sisters. They wanted to get back home. And now you kissing their ass and sucking and doing everything else with these people. Finger pop bumping and everything else. Wearing their names, kissing their ass, marrying them. It's like your ancestors was shit. Because that's what you're doing, you're pissing on them. They wasn't nothing. I ain't gonna forget about that stuff that happened in the past. No other nation on the planet does stuff like that. No other nation on the planet. That's why we're still in captivity. No other nation on the planet does anything like that. God says he don't even. He says vengeance. Now you say God's love. Well, he also says he's vengeance. And why would he take vengeance when it's wrong and wrong has happened? Something's out of balance. He said you're going to have to take vengeance because you ain't going to do it. Because you've been programmed so well, right, that now, what do they call it? Stockholm Syndrome? They got a name for it now. With Patty Hearst, they made a special name because she was rich, right? Because she was with this Weather Underground, and they was robbing banks and all kinds of stuff, right? It's for some radical group, but somehow she got involved. The question was she voluntarily with these people, or was she kidnapped with these people? But they got pictures of her in the bank holding a machine gun, right? So the way they got around that was, she had the Stockholm Syndrome because she was with them so long that she identified with them, so now they didn't have to control her anymore. She was on autopilot. So they call it Stockholm Syndrome. And so I guess I associate that with you. Because they've been with these people so long, they don't rape you, beat you, they destroyed your ancestors. And relentlessly, not for 10 years, not for 20, for 400 some years. And now you want to identify with you and marry them, hey, bro. And they make me sick. I see them, hey, bro. You ain't my brother. But maybe you're a demon. Then maybe this is your brother. Oh, that's racism. He's a racist. See? He's stuck in the past. And these people plotting to wipe you out. They're talking about nuclear war. What the hell do you think that means? What do you think nuclear war means? Because these people playing with like it's nothing. They got a plan in the back in their head for what's going on with this. I'm not going into details here. But they proceed with this. What do you think it means to you? You think you'll survive it? You think they'll look out for you? You think if America gets down on its knees again and broke and busted because of a nuclear war, are they going to look out for you, that you will be back in chains again? Trying to screw food out the radiated ground for them? You got a lot to learn. See, and you got a short time to learn it. And most of you just ain't gonna survive. Because being a Negro bud is one thing, but being a total idiot is another thing altogether. See? Because Elijah Muhammad deprogrammed a lot of you. Thousands. And Farrakhan came and reprogrammed you again. See, and we trying to deprogram you. See, but those that we deprogram this time, you won't be reprogrammed again. Because we're going to take all the people the reprogrammers, the demons and the devils, they won't be around to reprogram you again. But you just piss on your relatives. You piss on your ancestors. It's like, what's the difference between you out there with your mom, somebody beat her down, spit on her, kick her, right? Piss on her and everything else, and you sitting there watching. And then you become friends with people that did it. What's the difference? Just a matter of time, but it's the same situation. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The people that got you here, you spit on them. That's in the past, man. I'm about forgiveness. Is that what God's command is? You better read chapter 18. He said, get them double what they did to you. Farrakhan said, we can't do that. You go to study groups, they're really doctrination groups, right? He study groups, we can't treat them like treat us. We can't do that to them. Why? Because he's a demon. Because he don't want you doing to him, right, what they did to us. Because his fathers is part of doing. Look up Percival Clark. I won't take my word for it. Look up Farrakhan, look up his bio, and see what his father's name is. And they actually have a picture of him. This is on the internet. Better hurry up because they probably try to correct it. His father's a devil, period. And anybody got any sense know that if your father's a devil, you're a devil because you're whatever your father is. You're whatever your father is. Because the father is the seed, the sperm. The sperm is alive, the egg is not. It's living material, but it's not alive. So if father's a devil, he's a devil. That's what a demon is. A demon is a son of a devil or a daughter of a devil. And you got demons all over the planet. See, 600 years ago, they understood this. When they start breaking out of the dark ages, 1,000 years in dark age, you better read chapter 20 again. That's about the Dark Ages. That's their history. See, the resurrection, right, was the Islamic Empire. Those when resurrected and threw them into darkness, the bottomless pit, the abyss, for 1,000 years up in Europe. That's what chapter 20 is actually telling you. See, all kinds of secrets they hide from you. Like they don't tell you that Mecca and Medina and all those places and the pilgrimage and all that kind of stuff, that was Abraham's doing. It's even in the Bible. They know that, but they ain't gonna tell you that because they can't want you to associate the Abraham with those terrorists, those evil Muslims over there. They hate God. Is that Abraham hated God? Was that the works of Abraham, the seed of Abraham? Abraham built all that over there, and they know it. They ain't gonna tell you. See? Abraham built all that. And people, they descended back into idolatry, and that's what Prophet Muhammad, he didn't change any of that stuff. He just cleaned it up. Mecca's still there. They still have the pilgrimage, all those things. He just cleaned it up because they fell back into idolatry, and they started giving God, God has 100 attributes according to them, right? And so they made each attribute a God. And he cleaned all that stuff up. He cleaned up the Kaaba, all that stuff. The pilgrimage, he cleaned it all up. He didn't start anything. He tried to think it's Muslim, Abraham's Prophet Muhammad started Islam. No, he didn't. He resurrected it. That's a fact, and everybody knows it except you, because the preachers ain't gonna ever tell you that. Because then that would short circuit your programming if you knew that Abraham was the one to set that up over there. Because everybody associates Abraham with being God. He walked with God. He talked with God. So how could he be Satan, worshiping Satan? How could that be a Satan structure? See? They're not going to tell you the truth. It's been 400 years of darkness. It's been 6,000 years of darkness, actually, but it's been intense darkness. As the Quran says, intense darkness the last 500 years. So they went out. And when they went out, they made sure they spread, that's talking about the seed, the wheat and the chaff. They sowed their seed on every nation they came in contact with. And they tried to eliminate the males as much as possible. They actually succeeded that in Guam. They killed all the males. I mean, if you was a male, they killed your toddler or baby what, they killed all of it. And then they raped all the women. So the people over there are not really Romanians, because Romania was dark with nappy hair. Those people over there are Spanish people. They're Spanish demons. I've been there. I'm not just talking. I've been there. I've been there. I put it like that. So they did this. They knew what they was doing. See? Because by doing this, that's why it says the enemy did this. Read the scripture. It says somebody sowed their chaff amongst wheat. It said the enemy has done this. Why they do it? Right? Because they know they could disrupt all. Because whenever it went, they didn't have any discord. Right? They didn't have any rebellion. People worked. People worked together. See, they usually had a king or something, right? So whatever kind of structure, and people was generally in peace. But they knew when they put their seed in there, that would disrupt that, because their seed is to make Mishra shed blood, and that would start confusion in the community, and that's what they did. That's how they gained control of the world, right? By destabilizing every country they went to. That's why every country is destabilized now. And any country that try to remove that demon factor out, like China did, right? Oh, hey, terrorists made me. See? And we worse affected, because not only were we affected that, but we're a captive nation. And a lot of you happy with that. And now this captive nation right here, see, the masters of this nation built it for them purpose, not for us. We're supposed to be servants here. But now they're talking about nuclear war. So what do you think that's going to mean to you? Now here you are, a captive nation, you're involved in some shit that you ain't had nothing to do with. And now you're about to get blown up, get your ass burned up by some shit you had nothing to do with. And you ain't saying nothing. Some of you got your head stuck in NBA and NFL. You don't care anyway. You will care when this goes off. The only good news I have for you is that it won't be a nuclear war. The bad news is America will be nuked. Well, I thought you said it wasn't a nuclear war. Okay, if me and you fighting, right, and I'm punching you punch me, that's a fight. If I'm just beating on your ass and you ain't doing nothing, that's not a fight. That's just a beat down. America's going to be beat down. But it's not going to be a nuclear war. See? That's the good news. But the bad news is that many of you are going to be here when it does get beat down, because you ain't listening. says, come out of her, my people. What's telling you come out? See? So Master Muhammad, he's holding long enough to get as many of you out as possible. And ain't talking about just like Farrakhan, come out meaning just listening to him. No, it means get the hell out. Physically, geographically, get the hell out. You say, well, y'all ain't out. No, because we busy trying to get you together, but we leaving. We already got our pass, we got tickets, we got passport, everything. So you got to have a passport. And who has your passport? It says Suleiman has your passport. The Lamb, the one that broke the 7 seals, he's the one that's got your passport. Your name is not in that book. You ain't going no damn where. You're going to be right here when this place gets burned down, get taken down. Try to tell you, brothers and sisters, it's time to go home. Why you want to stay here with these people who have demonstrated, I mean, what they have to do to you? They've done everything that any beast could do. I mean, they went beyond anything a human can do. They went to the beast level. They went to the beast level. See? Because things we can't even imagine. They tell us to do double what they did to us, but it's impossible to actually do that. God asked us to do something we cannot do. You see? Because we can't do double them what they did because we wouldn't know how. See? We'd be appalled just by thinking about that kind of thing. Like, for instance, one of the milder punishments was one slave would defecate in another slave's mouth, then they seal his mouth so he couldn't spit out. I wouldn't do that to anybody. I mean, when they told me, I said, are you serious? That's something no reasonable person would do. You see? But that's things they did. That's just mild. Things they did much worse than that. So it's impossible to do double what they did to us because it's not our nature. See? Because I got books, and I hate to even read some of them because every time I read it, I go further. I mean, some of them I took long. I haven't read the whole thing because I get sick just every time I say, what's going to be on the next page? What's going to be on the next page, man? Ooh, do I really want to know what's on the next page? I tell you, I got to that part about the defecation thing, and I stopped reading that book for about 6 months. I said, man, I don't want to know what's after. If that's part, what's that? I mean, it could get worse than that. You're dealing with beasts, sick people. It's hard to even call them sick, but they came from us. I mean, it's hard to even call them people, but they came from us. I mean, they didn't invent themselves. We made them. They served their purpose. That doesn't change the fact they're sick. So let's get back to this devils, demons, dragon, Dajjal, and death. See, please tell us what they mean. See, this is Revelations. And they have these things in there. Where are they in? Also for Dajjal, that comes out of the Quran. See? But these are things we have to deal with. We have to deal with the devils. You have to know who they are to deal with them. They tell you they're invisible. He's walking around with a pitchfork. He's in the middle of the earth. So what they're telling you about him for? What can you do with him? He's not invisible. He's visible. See, Elijah Muhammad made him visible. Farrakhan made him invisible. See? We have enough of him. He's a demon. That means he's master's child. He's a black-faced demon. See? Like I said, they went all over. It says the devils, it tells you who the devils are. It says they would go out seeking to steal, kill, and destroy. How did they get this country? They stole it. What they do is it happens. They killed them. What they do to us? They destroyed us. I mean, how simple can it be? How complicated can it be? I mean, that's simple as ABC, 3 plus 3. It's as simple as that. Some of you think 3 plus 3 is 33. They got you so programmed. Negro butts. See? But devils, demons, the demons walked the earth for 600 years, and you had no idea they was around. They walked the earth for 600 years, caused all kind of chaos, unseen, causing destabilizing countries and everything else. All of a sudden, you got these people that's at odds with the king, at odds with with the government, without odds, with everybody else. Where did these people come from? Because they was devil seed. They were demons, but nobody could detect them. It said wolves in sheep clothing. Nobody could detect them because they was hidden. And you was told to concentrate on skin tone. You was told to concentrate on skin tone. See, skin tone, not nature. That's what the wolf tell you. Hey man, don't you see I look like a lamb? Yeah, but you act a little different. Yeah, but I don't look like a lamb. You're just divisive. What's wrong with you, bro? You don't. You can't accept a little different. I mean, I can't accept my personality. You gotta be a robot like you or something. So that's their argument. Oh man, what's wrong with you? I look just like you, bro. What, you divisive? But you don't like your own people? That's what they say. Or they say all kinds of things to me. See, I don't pay attention. Oh man, he used 3-letter word, 4-letter words. Yeah, I use 4-letter words. See how stupid this is? Now, it's all right for Jesus, Son of Man, or whatever, to kill millions of people and throw them into hell, but he better not say a 4-letter word. Now, how dumb can that be? I tell you, what would you rather be? You rather be cursed out or had your throat cut? Since you so concentrating on bullshit like that, what would you rather be? You rather be curse you out or cut your throat? Because baby, what you're saying is better to cut your throat than use bad words. Because you call them bad words. It's not our language. It's their language. And a profound, that's their definition of profanity. You better read the Bible again. It talks about dung and all that kind of stuff, right? You better read it again. Talking about taking little babies by the heels and knocking their brains out against the wall. This is stuff in the Bible. And God wrote that according to you. But see, you got your idea of what the Son of Man should be like. He should be like they tell you, like, Jesus, well, that ain't what he looked like to begin with. And he says, he ain't come to bring no peace, he come to kick ass. He had an incident in the Bible that preachers don't tell you about, but you can check it out. This woman came and asked him, says, would you heal my daughter? He said, hell with you, I'm not healing your daughter. He says, he called the woman a dog. He says, this, what I have is not for the dogs, it's for my people. He called the woman a dog. And the disciple says, looking around, what's going on? You call this woman a dog, and all she does is ask him help. Because you say he's for everybody, right? You better read that again. He called the woman a dog. I'm not healing your child. What I have is for my people. This is in the Bible. And then the woman said, well, even the dogs get crumbs that comes from the master's table. He said, okay, well, I'll heal her. He didn't want to. But she kept on persisting, right? Persistence, it works. So she kept on and said, Master, please. So he said, okay, we'll just get the hell out of here. See, I don't know what Bible you're reading. And you listen to these demon preachers out here. Like Elijah Muhammad said, he wouldn't be one of them if their shoes was made of diamonds and gold and silver. Because they're gonna be fuel of the fire. See, they're gonna make that fire blaze because they got a lot of fuel in them. But these demons are all over the world. I mean, devils are all over the world. Sowing the seed, that's what it says. Seed, sowing their seed. So enemy has done this. And that's just stabilizing all these countries, and that's why they're stabilized. See? And then you got to think about, everybody went to have kings, right? But they don't like kings. But these are the same system that God set up. Now God said that's what he set up. He set up kings. But they said, no, we want democracy. What, democracy? But Jesus is a dictator. He said, you do what I told you to do, or you're going to hell. I'm going to burn your ass up forever and ever and ever. At least according to that's what they're saying. Right? It's my way or the highway. It ain't no vote. I'm your king forever. That's a dictator. But they don't like dictators. You see the bullshit? They want to kill dictators. Oh, man, Putin is a dictator. Well, so is Jesus. So is Jesus. And you can't get rid of him. You crucified him, he came back. You couldn't say, man, yeah, you crucified me, that's all right. I'll be back on your ass. And I'm going to come back and tear your ass up now for crucifying me. You can't get rid of me. I'm going to be your God forever. You're con king forever. Ain't gonna be no damn vote. And if you piss me off, I'm gonna burn your ass up. Ain't gonna be no argument. Ain't gonna be no debate. Ain't gonna be no vote. It's me, period. My way the highway. He's a dictator. But you hate dictators. Stop the bullshit. I remember I had a conversation with someone years ago. When I was in Tampa, right? I used to work at a place, G-Teds, and computer consultant. And I ran this white guy, man. I was doing a night shift, right? He wanted to pour this Jesus stuff on me. When they started talking, I listen. I ain't gonna be moved by it. I listen, right? So I'm at work, so I'm trying to be civil. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, man, we ain't got time for this bullshit. But we're nice. He wanted to run this down to me and everything. So I said, okay, I'll wait for your ass. I'll let you run all the stuff down to me. So he run down a couple of nights, right? See? And now I eased him over into politics, right? See? Because I was setting him up. So then he started talking about, yeah, man, well, our system is the best in the world, man. We don't have demons. We don't have dictators and stuff like that. There, man, we got democracy, man. We got the best. I said, yeah, but I said, what's wrong with dictator? Yeah, they ain't no damn good, man. We gotta have democracy. Have what people want. I said, yeah, but ain't Jesus a dictator? Man, Jesus don't dictate me. He went on. He's about to cry. Man, Jesus don't dictate all this stuff, right? But I had to give it to him. He came back to that 2 days later. Said, yeah, you're right. Jesus is a dictator. See? So how come they hate dictators so much? That's why it says the nation are preparing, and the angel says the nations are going to be prepared to make war against God because they don't want God. They serving Satan. They don't want God. This is a satanic system. Jesus told you the God of this world is Satan. If God's, what did Jesus tell? What did Satan tell Jesus? He said, I control all the nations in the world. He said, all of them are mine. That includes America. He said, all of them are mine. I've given you, if you just bow down, you better read this again. Jesus the only one said, no, hell no, I don't have to bow on you because I'm going to take control of them all of myself. You see? He said, I control all of them. You say, oh man, well, not America. Hell, America's the number one. Because they're the most blessed of Satan. They're the most blessed of Satan. Because he's the God as well. Jesus said that, so they're the most blessed because they're the worst. They ain't following God's law. They're following Satan's law. That's what Jesus told them. He said, you ain't seed of Abraham, you're followers of the devil. He said, you're evil and wicked, and you're a liar. You was that from the very beginning. You read it, but no, you don't hear that stuff. See, you want to pretend, oh, well, no. Well, that's your Bible. That's the sealed version. That's your Bible. That you run everybody's story and tell them what it means. See? Instead of telling them what it says. See? Because your meaning is what you want it to be. No, Jesus is dictator, period. Full stop. But you hate dictators. So that means you hate him. Hate his rule. Oh, but he's a good dictator. He's a good dictator. See? And he's a lover. He's about love. He loves everybody. You see? But let's unpack that. Let's unpack that love everybody part. Now, according to you, Jesus, God, right? Him and the Father the same, right? And they was the creating process. Because when they say we in the Bible, you claim that's Jesus and God together. So they created Adam, according to you. But they see the future. See, I see the beginning from the end. So they knew exactly what Adam's going to do when they create him. They knew exactly what he's going to do. They knew the beginning from the end, according to you. So they knew the beginning from the end. So they knew what God was going to, they knew what Adam was going to do. See? They knew he was defective. He was going to sin when they made him. But they made him anyway. And they got pissed off when he sinned. It wasn't his fault. That's the way you made him. You made a defective object, and then you get mad at him when he shows the defect. And then you kick him out of the garden, and then you curse him, and then you say you're going to put him in hell forever and ever and ever. Your creation that you screwed up, that's defective, and that's love? Where's the love in that? That sounds like a sadistic maniac to do some crazy shit like that. Don't tell me about no gods looking at that God you talking about. That doesn't make any damn sense. How are you going to hold Adam responsible? How are you going to hold the product responsible? How are you going to hold the product responsible for its creation? You have to hold the manufacturer responsible. They knew what he was going to do before he did it. See? They knew they were going to have to put him in hell. So why would you make somebody that you're going to end up tormenting and killing and destroying like that forever and ever and ever when they didn't make themselves? You knew that was going to happen, but you did it anyway. And you say, that's love? Show me the love in there. Show me where the love in there is. See, I tell people that, oh man, well, man, your language is very strong. That's what one dude told me. I mean, man, you're some Christian preacher. Oh man, well, you some strong language. See, he didn't want to get to the point of the matter where I was right or wrong. Because that's exactly right. There's nothing, anything I said is wrong about it. Nothing. So what? Adam had freedom of choice. It doesn't matter what he had. You just know what he was going to do before he did it. You said you can see in the future. So in other words, he's going to do something that you wouldn't expect. That means you can't see the future, can you? He was a defective product according to Jesus and the God you're talking about. Yeah, they made him anyway and then chastised him and destroyed him for being defective. See, that's a sadistic maniac. You understand? Would do something like that. If that's the way God rolls, we all in trouble. But see, that's not my God. That's some thing you pull out your ass and you call God. That's not true. It's not real. See, you brothers and sisters, you can start deprogramming yourself by just start asking questions and stop taking the bullshit. Start asking questions and tell them to prove anything they tell you. Tell them to prove it. And once you start doing that, your eyes become open. You start you start deprogramming yourself. But money ain't going to do it. And so what happens is that God's going to have to short circuit your programming. See, he's going to pull a cord. He's going to short circuit your programming. That's the only way he's going to get you to listen. See, because something about to happen is going to short circuit your programming. See? Again, which devils, demons, dragons, devil? Who are they? Who are they? Ask Silas who are they, because if he haven't broke the seals, he don't know shit. Oh, there you go. He's spelling the 4-letter words again. Because that's your idea of what Superman would look like, or what the Christ would look like, or Jesus. That's your idea. Everybody had that. You know, when Elijah Muhammad came, according to my understanding, that Master Prophet Muhammad left him 60,000 followers, which almost most of them walked away from Elijah Muhammad once Master Prophet Muhammad left, because Master Muhammad didn't tell them that he was that exactly what was happening. See, he didn't tell me. He told me, well, you got Elijah, but he ain't going into detail that he was be your messenger now, and I'm the God. He didn't go into that kind of detail. He left that to Elijah Muhammad to explain that after he was gone. And Elijah, a little short man with third grade education, right? Third grade education. And he wasn't there. He couldn't talk that well. He wasn't their idea of a Messiah, their idea of a messenger, idea of a leader. They turned on him. He had to run for 7 years, but they was trying to run, even his own family members, trying to get rid of him. Because their idea was that he was Aaron. See? They had a better understanding of scripture than you, even though they had the timing wrong. See? Because they took Master Prophet Muhammad as being Moses. And they knew if he was Moses, then what followed him was Aaron. See, they had the scriptures wrong, but they had a better understanding than you do. Because right now, once you understand that Pharaoh was the God, Elijah was the messenger, then you know that Aaron Farrakhan. See, if they understood like that, they would have gave Farrakhan 2 seconds. See, so they went after Elijah because they thought he was Aaron. So why you think Aaron's so great? Farrakhan says it's Aaron. See, but now when you put everything in perspective, then Elijah is Moses, and that means Farrakhan is Aaron, and according to them, they would got rid of him. See, so they didn't. But back to Elijah again, right? He wasn't impressive. You see, but he had the heart and the mind to do what God told him to do. That's what's important. Because a lot of people could talk and everything else. They don't last long. I've had a lot of people come my way over the years. They would come slick and everything they wanted to come in. Some of them sent by Farrakhan, some by SARS, some by the government. Check me out, look around, right? They don't fool me. See? And I just keep on shining that light. And sooner or later, right? See, they start melting. Before long, they melted away. See, that's all you got to do is keep telling that truth. Your truth, your best defense. The truth is your best, because the truth is a spring warmth that destroys winter. And as long as you keep speaking the truth, then the winter it has no power against you. It won't come against you. The closer it gets to you, the more, right? The more it dissolves, evaporates. They won't be around you very long. Only way to be around you is you have to lower your temperature, right, to be with them. So that means they start freezing you. Instead of you evaporating them, right, they freezing you. So you think, oh, that's my buddy. I grew up with him, okay. See? But he ain't warming up, is he? And the only way you can communicate with him, you got to, right, cool down, cool off. Talk to BS. You can't talk to about this. See? Because he don't want to hear it. Because see, that makes him start evaporating. You better understand, brothers and sisters. When you tell them the truth, they don't hear it, hey, bye. Get hell far away from them. Let them go ahead and free somebody else. But if you're sticking with them, right, pretty soon, right, they're going to have you, you think, are they going to happen? Okay. Pretty soon, they're going to have you frozen again. I've seen it happen over and over again. They come in, next thing you know, they're frozen. See? And I'm not going to try to throw them out. Once you start the throwing out process and you turn back, right, to being frozen, you're not getting more life from me. You don't get a second chance. We don't waste time with you. Devils, demons, dragon, Dajjal, and death. Who are they? See, Elijah Muhammad revealed who the devils were. But Farrakhan came and said, oh no, they're not devils. See? You can't call them devils anymore. Which is a lie. I was there. I'm not telling you secondhand. I was there from 70 to 75 till Elijah Muhammad departed. I was in Chicago, right there. I was his security. See, I was an informant at the Muhammad Speak newspaper. So I was right in the mix. See, my wife at the time, she actually worked directly for Elijah Muhammad. She ran an MGT dress shop. So she met him personally, talked to him. So I was right in the middle. So I knew what was going on. So they can't bullshit me. See? And Farrakhan's just a big liar. The FBI did not break down the Nation of Islam. It didn't bring it down. Him and Wallace brought it down. And when Wallace was officially out, he was thrown out. He barred from being in the Nation of Islam, being barred from seeing his own family, anybody. He was totally barred. He was kicked out. So how in the hell did he take control? He was actually physically out. He couldn't even see his own family. So how did he get control of it? And they knew what Wallace was going to do. They knew what he was going to do if he got control. He didn't hide it. He hated his father. He thought his father was a liar. He wanted to be a Sunni. See, all he did was badmouth his father all the time. He used to go in the Chicago Defender, which was like a black paper, right, in Chicago. All he did was put ads in all the time, full-page ads about how bad his father was, how he was a rip-off and a liar and all that kind of stuff. They knew what he was going to do. He didn't hide it. So how in the hell did they get charged? Because Farrakhan is a coward. He's weak. And he tells lies now. They tore it down themselves, and they started something called the Balalians. Look it up. A Wallace organization. And Farrakhan was his chief minister. They got rid of, they liquidated all the property and everything. I'm not going into details. They did and took all the money out. And they was really pissed off. They had to fight because everything was in the Nation of Islam name, not in the minister's name. And they couldn't get hold of it. That's why they neutralized Farrakhan, because he had standing, if you understand what that means. He could have went in court and stopped him from doing that, but he didn't, because he thought he was going to get a piece of the pie. But once they got it, they threw him to the curb like a two-bit whore. So then he ran to Arizona, trying to get a step back, because he was a calypso dancer. Look on, right? I forgot what they call him, Gene Calypso or something like that there, right? Just look at his bio on the internet. He was a calypso dancer, but he claims when he was young, he was so worried about the black condition, right, that he wanted to, but then why you become a calypso dancer? Why are you going to preach or something? See, they tell lies. They're big lies. He was out there shaking his ass as a calypso dancer, right, and a singer. That's what he was doing if you didn't know how that works. That's what it was. Right? And Elijah Muhammad told him that he got stopped there if he wanted to cover the Nation of Islam. And what happened is that when Elijah Muhammad departed, after he finished bad mouthing the message and everything else, he went back and tried to get back on the stage again as Calypso dancer. This is the one that you said, oh, he's the Messiah and all that kind of stuff. If that brother hadn't went out and reached to, because the only reason he said, and I've been to his study groups. I know he says this, he says it. He was broken, busted. Because he would not be able to get back on the stage. Master wouldn't let him. I know, you've been a bad boy. You've been speaking bad stuff about Master. He wouldn't let him back on the stage. Just shake his ass. Imagine that. Here it is, the spokesman for Elijah Muhammad on his stage, shaking his ass. Hey man, Calypso. But I thought you was with Elijah. Oh man, I wasn't down with that shit, man. I was just getting there to get my piece, man. Now he's gone, man. I'm doing my thing. See, what's he gonna say? What else is he gonna say? He's on the stage shaking his ass for Massa. That's what he was planning to do. And then they wouldn't get him back on stage. So then his brother reached out to him and he said himself, he says he looked at the picture of Elijah Muhammad and said, he didn't leave me nothing. That's what he said. He didn't leave me. What, leave you nothing? It was all about you. He didn't leave me nothing. And then he said, look at it again. Said, no, he left me everything. That's when he came to his mind. Said, hey, I can get back over there and rip those people off. See, especially I'm a devil anyway. I'm going to have fun ripping those clowns off over there. Because they teaching against devils. They teaching against me, but they don't know it. See, so I'm going to rip them off because that's what he's done. 40 years, he ain't done a damn thing for you. Nothing, zero. But he's done a lot for himself. He's enriched himself. And he didn't make the same mistake. He made sure all the money, whatever money there is in his pocket, not in the Nation of Islam name. He enriched himself and his family. That's why God disemboweled his ass. Better read Malachi. It says he was cursed because he robbed this whole nation. Who's robbing the nation? It ain't me. It ain't Elijah Muhammad. Only by his robbing the nation is Farrakhan. He's been asked for his economic program for 40-some years. And where's he? You see any economics anywhere? Where's the money going? But he got these sisters, pimping these sisters out there, right, doing fundraisers. Sad. Elijah Muhammad never did anything like that. He had his sisters out there doing fundraisers, and they didn't want to, because these Negro brothers, right, they ain't doing anything. They ain't selling any papers. You couldn't give them sell one paper a month. Elijah Muhammad made us sell 300 papers a week, 300 a week, 300 a week, or your ass was out of there. And you can't get these people to sell one paper a year. So they make the money. They get the money from these sisters out here doing fundraisers. So he can gallop all over the planet doing his thing, pimping off the sisters. And now it turns out, he admits it, he's been doing half for the sisters. And he's your Messiah? Who's the devils? Who's the demons? Who the dragon? Who the Jah? Who death? Tell me. If you know, I know who they are. I've explained it. You took my presentation, I explained to all these people. So exactly who they are. They can prove it. Because I broke the seals and I got the key. And all you got to do is map it to the key and tell you who all these people are. See? They're your enemies. But you ain't know you had these enemies. See? He had you working the Sunnis. The Sunnis, their whole objective is to stop you from teaching Elijah Muhammad's teaching, because Elijah Muhammad said, we going back home. He talking about the Abrahamic covenant, which they don't want you to know anything about. They don't want anything about the Abrahamic covenant. See, they told these preachers, stop teaching that stuff, doing why using chain slavery. They let you sing about it, but then all of a sudden they don't talk about it anymore. And the only one talked about it, the last one talked about it after Elijah Muhammad was Martin Luther King. We got the picture. He wouldn't talk to Elijah Muhammad. Then he said he went to the mountaintop. Then he came back. He gave the Promised Land speech. They told him, don't give that speech. They said, don't give that speech, because they don't want you to tell you black folks to think they Abraham, they the true seed Abraham, that they're going back home. He said, don't give that speech. He gave a speech. He says, I know you're going back home, right? He says, I see no Promised Land. He said, I know you're going to get there. I get there with you. I'm paraphrasing. He said, and then it was next day was dead. They blew his head off. Because they don't want you to know that. They got false heroes over there pretending you that's identity theft. And Farrakhan's going along with it. And the Sunnis, they backing it up too. They're not saying anything because they know that land belongs to us. It tells you, read Abrahamic covenant. It says, we return. It tells you where the land is. It's between the river Euphrates and the river and the river and the Nile River. I guess the river of Africa in Egypt. That's Arabia, what they call Saudi Arabia now. That's the whole thing why they call it Saudi Arabia. But it's Arabia. That's our land. And that sand is there to protect it. That's another story altogether. But they don't want you to know about that. So they squashed it. They killed Martin Luther King for trying to tell you. And then when once Elijah Muhammad departed, first thing Farrakhan came and said, we ain't going nowhere. And devils ain't devils no more. He killed he took the foundation out of Elijah Muhammad's teaching, snatching all out until he represented Elijah Muhammad. But he just snatched out all his teachings. He snatched out the foundation. The foundation is that we're going back home. We got the tapes of Elijah Muhammad saying that. He said we'd be a fool to stay here in the land of our imprisonment. But Farrakhan said, no, we ain't going nowhere. That means he's taken and destroyed, undermined the whole Abrahamic covenant. He says God's a liar. He said the whole reason why Master Prophet Muhammad came here is a lie. He said the whole 40-some years Elijah Muhammad's teaching was a lie. Because that's the whole purpose of Master Prophet Muhammad coming here. And that's the whole purpose of Elijah Muhammad teaching for 40-some years, that we're going home. He wouldn't even allow Sunnis in the temple. But Pharaoh said, we ain't going nowhere. See? And devils ain't devils anymore. Which is a lie, because Elijah Muhammad used the term all the way up to the time he left in the theology of time. But he said, no, he told me personally. And Elijah Muhammad said in the theology of time, he says, I have not given any minister any private instruction, any private wisdom. But he said, he told him, but what about all other ministers? How come they didn't hear it? So in other words, Farrakhan is the only one that couldn't go out and call devils devils anymore. But all other ministers could. And you believe that? You believe that? They got rid of Brother Khalid. You understand? I don't know a whole lot about that brother, but the point is that he was close to Elijah Muhammad than Farrakhan could ever be. And they had to get rid of that brother. See? So I never met him, but I know of him. See? And he had his spirit was closely, he had the spirit of Elijah Muhammad. Farrakhan has the spirit of his father. His father's a devil. He admits it. We got the proof. We got the statements. We got the pictures. I said, just go and look it up. Look up Farrakhan's bio. It's on his now. I just looked at it last night. It says father's name is Percival Clark. Percival Clark, look at his picture. He's a devil. He ain't no light-skinned Jamaican. And anyway, if it was Jamaican, that's nationality. That's ethnicity. Now you're saying, well, the devil is... Then you should be saying all praise be to Dr. Yaqub. If you think the devil is your anointed, is your savior, then we should be glad for the devil. See, if that's the end product, be our savior. Stop the bullshit. So, brothers and sisters, like I said, I'm going to kind of close this out, but devils, demons, dragons, Dajjal, death, who are they? Because you're going to come face to face with, you face with demons right now, you just don't realize it, because it tells us half the blacks in America are demons. Master seed. They're all over the place. And they're successful in this reality, because this is a reality constructed by Satan for Satan. So you won't be successful in this reality. Just as long as this is just like a frog would not be successful in the desert. See? This reality was not made for our success, it was made for their success. And so they always tell you when you was out there in field slavery, right? Oh man, you could be like them. The ones in Master's house, because they had better clothes, better food, and everything else, better hours. You never could be, because Master was never going to let you get in there, because he knew you wasn't his seed. He knew he could trust his seed. Because the only problem they had is they wanted to be more like, they wanted to be accepted like other other children. See, they want to integrate. See? We want to separate. As soon as they got the bill to integrate, that's what they did. They left the cities. They left and went out to they went out to the suburbs and married master daughter and everything else, because they wanted to get rid of that black skin. So they sort of cursed, because they felt like, man, they knew they was white, but they had that black skin, so they wanted to be circumcised. That's what the Bible really talking about. Circumcision, it's about you had to be circumcised to be successful, right? Because that's what it means. You had to be turned white, you'd be successful in society. You had to be circumcised, that black skin. That's what they're really talking about. And that's what they try to do. So that's why they married them and everything. So their children would not have the curse that they had. So now they white inside and white outside. Then you got the Negro butts, they falling for that. Brothers and sisters, it's wartime. This war over here, everybody's excited about, that's not Armageddon. See, that's not it. Armageddon will be kindled, will be kindled in the Middle East. That's the war that's about to take place with Iran. That's what we're talking about, chapter 12. Michael and his angels. Who is Michael? Michael is Master Farad Muhammad. You say, well, how is that? Nobody tells you that. You don't hear Farrakhan never talk about Michael. You don't know. You don't know who David is. But Michael's Master Farad Muhammad because he's the one to deliver us, unless there's going to be two deliverers. He's the one to deliver us, so it has to be him. It says Michael and his angels go to war with the dragon and his angels. You need to know who the dragon is if you understand that one. See? The dragon is the house of Sod. Oh, yes, it's the house of Sod, if you understand the angel. I've been telling you, the dragon is going to work with Gog and Magog. Who's Gog and Magog? That's America and Britain. Dajjal is false Israel. I told you, the dragon is going to be with them. And I told you, I've been saying for 30 years that when the war goes down, the war goes down in the Middle East, that they talk about in Injil, right? In Revelation chapter 12, that the house of Sod is going to be with them. And now what? They got the Abraham Accords. Now they side with them and make agreements with false Israel and all this kind of stuff now. See? Everything I've been telling you is coming right into focus. See? And this is about to happen. When that happens, that's going to trigger Armageddon. Armageddon is a European war. They tear themselves apart. See? They tear, and then death will come and destroy them. Who is death? Death is China and India. Death is China, and Hades is India. Death and hell's following. That's going because they're the ones, when we talk about they had a dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns, right? And crowns upon his heads. Then he had a beast that had 7 heads and 10 horns and crowns upon his horns. That means there was a power shift from the head, from the dragon to the beast. It tells you that in chapter 13. It says they praised the dragon because he gave his authority and power to the beast. The beast is China and India because they're tearing themselves apart in Europe. So if they fight with each other, they're destroying their own power. They're destroying their own military. They're destroying their planes, their boats, and everything else. So now, who benefits from that? That means China and India rise out as new superpowers. And China hates America. And as soon as it sees it has the advantage, it's going to attack. That's the goat coming from across from the west. His feet not touching ground. That means coming across the Pacific Ocean. And it's going to attack the ram. Who's the ram? It's got 2 horns, right? That nobody could do anything with them. They were superpowers, right? That's America and Britain. America and Britain's been the only 2 world European powers ever. And those ones that came out of, remember I said chapter 20? After the Dark Ages, those ones that took over the whole planet. Gog and Magog. They took over the whole planet. And there was only 2 world empires there's been in the last 6,000 years that you know about. That's Gog and Magog. That's the 2 horns on that ram. But it said a goat hit that ram. Who is that goat? That goat represents also the leopard. The leopard was what? It has 4 heads and 4 wings. And it was brown and yellow. Brown and yellow. That's India and China. 4 heads and 4 wings. That means it was a lot of them. And the heads represent authoritarian. China's authoritarian, and wings represents democracy. And India's democracy. I mean, and that they represent that goat. And the goat comes, they come together, and they hit that ram so hard, they knock that ram down and stump it to the ground. That's what's going to happen, brothers and sisters. They're not going to be a nuclear war, but once they get that war, Armageddon, they're going to defeat themselves. They're going to break their own power. And that's going to give China and India the rise. So I just told you who death is. I just told you the dragon is. I told you the Dajjal is. I told you who the devils are. I told you who the demons are. Now, if you think it's better, you know better, then tell me. If you know better, tell me. Because you didn't know. Now you do know, but you won't accept it. But you didn't know before. But you say, I'm wrong. But you didn't know before, so how you know I'm wrong? Because that's your knee-jerk reaction because you're a Negro butt. You've been trained, you've been programmed. See, not accept anything. Like I was telling a sister the other day, I said, I'm not going to say who, right? But I was saying, I says, you've been trained not to accept anything from a black man, original man. So I asked sis, I says, think about it. Do you know any black man in the movies, on TV, that you accept advice from? She said, no. There it is. Because everybody in there is clowns, jokes, pimps, murderers, right? Idiots. See? Deadbeats. So that you've already been trained. So if Suleiman shows up, right, he's supposed to show up white. They say that's part of the reason why Farad had to show up white. Because if he showed up black, he wouldn't have got anywhere. But that's not the main reason why he's produced like that, to not suffer energy deprivation. That's another story altogether. But that's part of it. See? But somebody coming looking like you, telling you the truth, and I ask you for a dime. I ain't asked for a dime. Never did ask for a dime. I have no attention. I don't need your money. See? But these T.J. Jakes, all them want your money. They don't tell you shit. Farrakhan give you 5 hours giving you a shitstorm, right? Serving you shit, hot shit meal, a hot shit buffet, and you loved every bit of it. For 5, he tell you a damn thing, and you give him money and everything else. They enrich him. The truth comes to you. Everything I told you is the absolute truth. You can't deny anything I told you. You might deny in your mind, but when you go and check it out, you find it's the absolute truth. But you don't want to hear it. So therefore, you're going to suffer. See? Because the people that accept this message, they will not hear the faintest sounds of raging war in hell. They're not going, because they're about to have an economic collapse. First, you're going to have economic collapse over in Europe, and then it's going to be here. There's not going to be any food, anything. I mean, it's going to be a collapse that you've never seen before. You're not going to have any food, anything, because America will be in total war over there and over here. A civil war in America and a conventional war overseas. Not going to be a nuclear war. But Americans be getting their ass kicked. All their friends going to turn against them, all of them. And NATO and everything going to turn against them. And there's going to be a civil war over here, especially demons. Demons are going to go wild and crazy. There's not going to be any food, no be in stores. And what you going to do then? See? Because we told you to come out. See? So pretty soon, right? So you're going to get a better warning in a few more days, because we take down these demons. We're going to take down Farrakhan, take the whole, because they already tell you there's this vision in the Nation of Islam. See, he's about to be taken out. So you're going to hear, so you got, I'm not writing you off yet. Because I said, when Master Prophet Muhammad take down false Israel, which cannot happen. Remember, they're supposed to be the seed of Abraham. And once they return, they cannot be moved. They're the true seed, but they're false. And he's getting ready to take them down. That's the story of Michael's angels going against the dragon's angels. He was dragon's angels. God made God the false Israel. That's Dajjal. He's going to take them down. That's the abomination of desolation. It says when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, who in the hell is Jerusalem? That's not the Arabs. That's the capital of Judaism. That's the capital of the false Jews over there. I'm not saying, I mean false Israel. That's who's going to be surrounded by armies. It says they're going to be, and their destruction is not destruction. It says not their redemption, not their punishment, chastisement. Their destruction is near. That means they're going to be destroyed. That means they could not possibly. It says right in the scripture, I'm not quoting, and I don't care what translation you get. It says their destruction, when Jerusalem is surrounded by armies, their destruction is near. That means they're false. They're going to be destroyed. But it says, when you see it, it says flee. That's the abomination of desolation. When you see abomination of desolation, stand in a place that should not be. That means they're over there pretending they're us. It's talking about the same thing, flee. They put the two things together so you understand the connection. Because once that happens, these people are going to go ape shit over here. They'll go crazy. Because they've been living off the idea that that false Israel is the truth. And we just ham the born to be slaves, cursed to be slaves, cursed black and cursed to be slaves. So that means they wasn't doing anything wrong, but they enslaved us for 400 years and raped us and everything because we were born to be slaves, we was cursed. See, in America, the Native Americans, they was just vermin because this was the promised land. So they got in their mind, right, that they got the salve in their mind, right? The salve, the stuff that you put on, comfort yourself. They got that comfort zone in their mind that they're good. They really good people. They God's people. See? And then false Israel over there is kind of like underscore it. So when false Israel is taken down and they find that we the true Abraham, that everything turns on its head, their whole mind is destroyed. Their whole mindset is destroyed. And they're going to drive them crazy. That's what it says. Men's hearts be failing for fear of those things coming upon the earth, because the powers of heaven be shaken. Now, if heaven is someplace out there beyond this moon and stars or some other dimension, how would they know it's be shaken? That means heaven is the Middle East. Who has the power in the Middle East? America and Britain and follows Israel. It says their powers be broken, shaken. And that means the people in the earth represents European countries. That means the people's hearts be filled with fear just because they know what's about to happen in European countries, specifically America. Now, if their heart is failing because of the anticipation of what's going to happen, which thing's going to happen when it actually happens? Which thing's going to be when it actually happens? Think about that. Which thing could be when it actually happens? That's clear. That tells you clearly who false Israel is. It said when Jerusalem surrounded by armies, that's clear. And that's about to happen. So you will not be deceived. See? And that means famine. That's the 9 plagues they're talking about Exodus that's going to hit Europe. That's the Armageddon war. Armageddon is the war, a European war. And you're going to be starvation and everything else. And that's the time of unprecedented trouble when we deliver it. It says Michael will deliver all those who have a passport, names in that book of life. See? But it tells you to flee when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies. That means America and Britain's been kicked out. Now falls Israel under siege, and that means it's about to be destroyed. That means all of a sudden they realize what's going on. It tells you because once they destroyed, right? That means that's going to have an earthquake, going to shockwaves throughout the planet. Shockwaves. See, it's going to blow people's minds. Their hearts already failing, and they're going to realize you treated Abraham, and all this shit that's happening to them. The war in Russia, or the war in the Middle East, the war in Europe, all this stuff's happening to them is because of you. And you ain't fleeing from the army, you're not fleeing from the Navy, you're not fleeing from the police force, you're fleeing from your next door neighbor, because evangelicals, word going to go out, and they're going to come, and that's what it says, flee. Don't go back and get your child, don't go back in the house, do anything. So you're being warned, brothers and sisters, but like I said, you still got, Master Muhammad's looking out for you. I'm looking out for you. You still got a little more time. Because it says this world, this truth will be preached in all the world, then the end will come. See, so we're gonna be able to take Farrakhan out. We're gonna have a national, we have a national voice in a minute. And we're gonna tell you again, so make sure you all heard it. Make sure everybody's heard it. So if you destroy it, it's because of you. See, that's the blessing you're gonna get, because you already paid the price to go into the hereafter. But they're doing everything they can to stop it. But they have a plan, and God has a plan. See? So we're going to get the message to you again. So you ain't paying attention now, but you're going to get the message loud and clear in a few more days. See, that's the mercy that you're getting from your God. See, I love you, but I wasn't going that far. I was saying, let's get rid of them people right now, these devils right now. He said, no, there's 120,000, don't know the right hand from the left. That means the whole 100,000. We're talking about Negro butts. So we're going to give them an extra. We're going to give extra warning. We're going to give them a loud warning. See? That'll wake up even a dead man, physically dead man. So you're going to get that, brothers and sisters. That's your God looking out for you. See? I love you too. But my patience, I don't have the patience of Elijah Muhammad. I'm telling you right away, I don't have this patience. I don't have the patience of Master Muhammad either. See? I ain't them. So if you're looking for something that you got in your mind, then that's your business. I'm who I am. And I have to do the job the way I see to do it. Now, I've been given a job of doing what I'm doing. I've been doing it for 30 years. See? So if you're paying attention to the way I look, the way I sound, the way I smell, instead of paying attention to the knowledge I'm giving you, then you lost already, and we don't revive with you. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Okay, let's... Okay, brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, this is the segment of Black Alert. The Black Alert segment of fire, of the fire zone. The Black Alert section of the fire zone. Black Alert out. Okay, brothers and sisters, hope you understand. Sulaiman Rahim, Messenger of the Covenant, Breaker of Seven Seals, out. Assalamu alaikum.